right, here we go. Episode 9, Finding Love Again. Today we're going to discuss a topic that may be difficult to hear for some, and for others, it may be a hopeful reminder as we discuss finding love again. Life after your first marriage. Welcome back. If this is your first time, I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Matt.
And we're your hosts of the Vows, Vibes, and Virtues podcast.
Today we are joined by my dad, Bruce, and my stepmom, Tracy.
Hi.
Thank you guys for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Please introduce yourselves.
Well, I'm Tracey Denton, and I am just really happy to be here to support you guys. And
love you.
I love you too. I love you both so much. And if what Bruce and I are able to share and be transparent with as far as our different paths and how they've come together and to create a home that's full of love and full of Christ, we hope that this will help somebody as it has been our journey.
Yeah.
And I'm Bruce, and I'm Dad. And so we're just really happy to be here and support you guys, and you supporting us.
Yes.
It's a big deal for us.
Yeah. All right, so today's topic, as we've said, is about finding love again after a first marriage. So a lot of times you would assume this is after divorce or some kind of separation, right? But that's not always the case, as with your situation where your wife and my mom, obviously, she passed away, and it was a very difficult time. So you've built this life together, and you've depended on each other, and then all of a sudden, she's no longer here. So it was a tough time for sure.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into that a little bit today. So how did that event, when Mom passed, how did that affect your relationship with God during that time?
Well, to be honest, I knew your mom was never going to live to be 70 or 80 years old.
Yeah.
I didn't think she was going to pass at 46.
Right.
So, I wasn't really, I was caught by surprise for sure. I got to share with you, the next morning after she had passed, I went in as was our custom, and I made 2 cups of tea. And I went, what am I doing? So that was kind of the reality shock. But I will tell you that it was difficult, but I don't know how people do it that don't know Christ.
Yeah.
Because I knew where she was going.
Yeah.
Right.
I knew where she was, and that was okay. It was something that I could reconcile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So having God was definitely critical.
Yeah.
And he was a go-to crutch, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it should be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody there to depend on. So I definitely understand that it was a very difficult time. And you never really get over having lost that person. And so
No.
knowing that, how did you kind of cope with that loneliness and that immense void from Mom's absence? And
Well, yeah, it's interesting. It's so funny because my sister, she said, now, Bruce, you're not to make a life decision for at least a full calendar year. And I'm like, okay, sis. Okay, sis. So, but I will tell you something very private is that I didn't change the sheets for quite a while because I knew if I washed them, I wouldn't have her smell. And so
I can understand that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a really tough time. I had family.
yeah.
Like I said, my sister, but I have all my siblings, and
Yeah.
my parents were still alive at the time.
Yeah.
And my dad was so funny because he had had a couple mini strokes by then, and when I saw him, he's like, well, later when I was with Tracy, he's like, hey, Bruce, don't lose this one. I was like, Dad. Dad, it wasn't like I was at Walmart and lost her in the home good aisle, So, but yeah.
She didn't run away.
Yeah. So I had family and friends that really supported me.
Yeah.
And,
Leaned on them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Was there any bad coping mechanisms that you kind of fell into during that time, like drinking or?
Not really. I mean, maybe you remember. It's been so long now. I don't. This was 2008, and I don't remember any
I don't
real
remember
neg-
any.
negative thing because the way it was with your mom is like, I I knew because she had Hodgkin's disease at 8 years old
Yeah,
that we were on borrowed time, so I felt like I was given a gift.
yeah,
So I didn't feel like I was robbed, which I know you and your sister probably did. I know for sure, that you guys felt shortchanged.
Sure.
I didn't. It was 26 years of marriage. I felt very fulfilled. I felt like, man, been given a gift.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
these beautiful children, and something that your mom always wanted was to have kids.
yeah.
It's so funny because when in the middle of Jessica, I said, "Well, you wanted to be pregnant." She's like, "I wanted to have kids. Didn't mean I wanted to be pregnant." Could have skipped that whole part, right?
Brenda had a sense of humor.
Oh yeah, she did.
She did.
Aww.
So at what point in all of that did the thought cross your mind of, finding a new relationship?
Well, it's interesting. I waited the 12 months that my sister had told me, mandated.
Mandated.
And I went to this high school reunion. Just for me, it was going to hang out with some of my old friends.
I love this story.
And unbeknownst to me, that Tracy would be there.
Right.
And I didn't really know her. I only knew her in passing in high school. But we had this common history.
Yes.
And so one of our friends, Art, who's since passed, he entered, "Hey, man, get together." It was the night before the reunion. It was kind of a mixer. And we just started talking, and I just fell in. Like she said, my body language changed and everything. And so I had not thought about another relationship or anything like that. But
You hadn't, but God was working
Oh.
clearly in that situation.
For sure.
and it's so interesting because as she was walking out of the Sire that night, which is where we met, I was watching her go, and I was like, why am I so invested already in this woman?
Mm.
Because we just talked and we were friends, and that was it.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting that in retrospect that we would form a relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was there any resistance or guilt or anything that you felt at the beginning of that? Or
Well,
were you at peace with?
Well, I have to tell you,
That
your
point.
your mom gave me this huge gift when she said to me when she was going through one of her health things. And don't get me wrong, she wasn't always sick. It was just she'd have these episodes.
And they were bad.
Yeah, and
They could be,
She
yeah.
looked at me and she said, "Your next wife better be healthy." Well, in saying that statement, she said a couple things. One, she gave me permission to go on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and have a relationship with somebody else.
Yeah.
somebody
She didn't want you to be alone.
Right,
Right.
right. And so I didn't have guilt because she eliminated that
Yeah,
in that statement.
yeah. And that's cool that she had that forethought to say that
Yeah,
to you.
yeah.
Because I feel like not everybody knows
No.
how their partner feels in that situation, right?
Right.
And you have to, especially if it's sudden, like a car accident
Yeah.
or something. You never even had a chance.
Can't even imagine.
They're
Exactly.
gone in an instant.
Yeah.
And now you've got to cope. Well,
Yeah, and
would
things-
she want me
things
to move
left
on?
Right.
Where-
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what she said. I don't know what she felt.
What am
you
I
know?
going to do now?
Yeah. And that is the sort of nice thing about the, not, I mean, it wasn't nice, but that is at least had the ability to talk it
Yeah.
out with mom before
Yeah.
she passed away.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
That is nice in that, solely that aspect. Having
Comforting.
that,
I
comforting
think
in that.
comforting.
But it freed me up to be guiltless when,
Yeah.
Yeah.
when it came to life after.
Yeah. What a blessing.
Yeah. So were there any specific challenges you faced as a widower when you started dating again, like societal, family, internal conflict?
I think it's
My
interesting.
sister.
Yeah. I love you, Jessica.
Hey,
One of
it's
the
okay.
one of the hardest
Yeah.
things that I did was I went down to HR at my company, and I had to change my dependent number.
Yeah.
It seems so simple,
Right.
just a number on a piece of paper, but it was devastating.
Yeah.
You know, and so that was probably one of the hardest things. You know, there was an aspect where Brenda was gone, and any relationship I was going to get into, and with, you know, it turned out to be Tracy. Tracy was going to increase, and unfortunately, Brenda was going to decrease in the sense of being in the front.
Yeah.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know?
Rightfully
And-
so. Yeah.
And I knew that was one of the things that really hurt Jessica. 'Cause-
It was going to be a challenge for
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because Brenda was
her best friend.
her
Yeah.
best friend. And how do you reconcile with that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was a very trying time, and especially because Jessica was still living at home at that point too. So, and it was a tough time, but thankfully, I mean, we all moved past it, and you know, got a good relationship.
We have an amazing
Yes.
relationship.
Yes.
I meant family, extended family wise, with your kids, with our kid, with
Yeah.
Jessica.
Well, I have to tell
Yeah.
a quick story, and I know you've probably heard this before, but it wasn't until, you know, we have a special needs daughter, Amanda, that we share.
Yeah.
And I don't want to jump in front of what she's going to say, but
Yeah.
they had a trip that we were taking Amanda back to Illinois, and I couldn't go, and Jessica volunteered to drive. And so this was part of the part where she still had some animosity there, right?
Sure.
And so they're on their way up, and Jessica's driving, and she's watching the rear view mirror, and she sees Tracy's humanity dealing with her daughter. And they went up a certain way, and they came back laughing and in love on the way back. And it was a start of the relationship that we currently have today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was all because of Amanda. And that's so
it
cool.
really
It's
was.
so cool. You know, she was the catalyst.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey Vibers, if you're enjoying this episode, join us on vowsvibesvirtues.com. You can help support our channel by becoming a supporting member, check our free blog posts, and subscribe to our email list. Plus, make sure to grab our free guide on building better communication in your marriage, listed in the description below. Well, thanks for answering some of those questions, and I'm going to hand it off to you now,
Okay.
so you can interview Tracy.
Mama T.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. And now it's our turn.
Yes. My pleasure.
Can you tell us about your experience after divorce?
Well, after divorce, to kind of preface that, I was married to the kid's dad, Mark, for 14 years, and it had its own list of struggles.
Yeah.
And then when we finally both had agreed that reconciliation was just not going to happen, and I found myself for the first time in my adult life truly like on my own.
Yeah.
I had the kids, and I had to find my own place, which had its own list of excitement and scary
Unknowns.
exactly, because I'd always had either family or Mark to doing all of those big things. You know, I was really lucky or blessed that I was working in offices that were supportive and that just kind of rode the wave with me,
Yeah.
and a good network of friends that also were very supportive to kind of get me through those unknowns. And I can honestly say, yeah, could I have done it all by myself? Maybe. But it would have been a big struggle. And, you know, here I'm going to get all emotional about it, but I can guarantee you that without them supporting me and loving me and just helping walk me through these different things, I don't know if I'd have been as successful
Yeah.
at getting to what I knew I needed for myself, but most importantly, my kids.
Yeah.
And so buying a house all on my own, that's even a story in and of itself, because I've been looking for several months and not finding anything that I was comfortable with. And literally looked in the newspaper on a Sunday morning when they had regular newspapers. There was these open houses, And I recognized a particular address and the neighborhood because one of the dentists I worked for lived in that neighborhood.
Small world.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So I was like, well, what the heck? You know, the kids were with their dad that weekend. So I drove out there and rounded the corner, and it had been raining that day. And here I'm like still wiping tears.
It's okay.
And literally the sky opened up because also too I was praying about everything, even
Yeah.
going to the grocery store and all of that. But this was a big deal. So I was praying to the Lord. I said, look, can you please just make it so obvious to me? Because I'm dumb. Make it so obvious to me that I don't make a mistake
Right.
on this particular thing, because I've got a lot riding on this for the
huge,
kids and myself and everything. And so I round this corner and all of the clouds were just really, really going all over them. And the clouds opened up and the sun broke through the clouds. I'm not kidding.
Onto
And
the house.
shined literally on that house.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
if that's not a God sign.
I know, and I'm in the middle of the street, and I'm seeing the sun literally shining on this house. I went, okay, thank you, because I could mess this up. I go in, speak to the real estate agent, and all of the different things that the owners that were going through, they were desperate to sell, and I was at a point where I was desperate to buy.
All right.
And it was the easiest transaction that I've ever dealt with purchasing a house. And anybody who's bought a house knows
Yeah. Yeah.
what a nightmare
Roller
that is.
coaster.
Yeah.
But it went so smoothly that I was able to move me and my kids into that home within 30 days or
Wow.
less.
Wow.
So that's one thing. After the divorce, as far as dating, I kind of held off for a while because I didn't want the wrong part of my heart to making the decisions for me. And because I think at that point I was really vulnerable.
Yeah.
My self-esteem was at a very low point because of what was going on with the divorce. I wanted to make sure I was going to make the right decisions for the right reasons.
Right.
And I made a list. Must-haves, deal breakers. And I stuck to that list and I kept it in my wallet. To where before I go out on a date, I'd look over that list to
And
keep me-
remind yourself.
remind myself, and I would pray because I knew that that man existed because I existed. And basically that list was me.
Yeah.
I just needed a partner that fit those things that were kind of like me. As a result, fast forwarding 12 years, I had dated and had some serious relationships that were lovely, and I wish them well to this day. And each one of those relationships taught me something more about myself.
Yeah.
And I know that's one of the questions that you're kind of wanting
Yeah.
to ask, but
And okay, so want to back up just a bit. So you said
Yes.
right after divorce, you mentioned having those relationships, those friends to lean on, which were
Yes.
huge. How was that relationship with God at that time?
close. I relied on him for everything, like going to the grocery store, what I needed to wear for the day. I mean, I leaned on him so heavily, and he never let me down. Sometimes he wouldn't give me the answers that I wanted right away.
Right.
Yeah.
He's rarely early, but he's always on time.
Always on time.
Yeah.
And sometimes the answers and the revelations that he would give me would not be the answers maybe that I wanted at the time.
Yeah.
But I've said it over and over again. Thank God he did not give me what I wanted at the time. He made me learn and grow and heal, because then he gave me what I needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were some of the biggest lessons you learned about yourself and relationships during that time?
You know, a lot, because when I married the kid's dad, I was quite young, pretty naive, and I'm a people pleaser. So many of the things that I thought were important to me was truly thrown off the side of the cliff, and I had forgotten, you know, there's that analogy, I don't even know how I want my eggs.
Yeah.
And that was kind of true. So I was able to kind of discover what were the things that made me happy, what were the things that were important to me again, and focusing laser on the kids and
Yeah.
their needs and that sort of thing. And also to learning what I was not willing to tolerate anymore. To where I had a very clear picture, not only of who I was becoming and who I wanted to be, but where I needed to just stay far, far, far
Yeah.
away and recognize the red flags
Right.
a little bit better.
Yeah.
And that was huge
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone who is recently divorced and contemplating re-entering the dating world?
First, make sure you've got a good, sound group of good people surrounding you and supporting you.
Community's huge.
Community is so huge, but, you know, be very wise on who the people are that's talking to you, that they really do have your best interests at heart. So community, get therapy.
Yeah.
If you really feel like, okay, this traumatized me beyond what I have the tools to heal myself,
Yeah.
to be able to get past all of that, get into therapy. It may take a couple of people
Yeah.
before you
that's-
find that right fit.
That's great advice. And I don't think that you don't necessarily have to have a timeline of the 12 months or
Right.
whatnot. And I think you'll know once you're ready.
Yes.
Great advice.
Yes.
It's fascinating to hear the distinct paths that led you both to this point. Now let's talk about how those paths converged.
All right. So we already heard that you guys met at a high school reunion
Yes.
and that you just kind of hit it off as friends there.
Yeah.
So I guess, Dad, what was it about Tracy that made you feel it was okay to pursue that relationship?
Well, I have to say that the personality differences between Brenda, your mom, and Tracy are as far as the east is from the west. Okay?
Agreed.
Okay? But
They're both loving parents.
I was going to say, don't take anything away from Brenda.
but the core issues, and the things that have to have is what you were talking
Yeah.
about earlier.
Yeah.
They lined up perfectly. I mean, she was a Christian. She had a great heart. She's got a big heart. Her personality is so big that people don't realize that her heart is bigger than her personality.
Yeah.
And so when I first started talking to her, and I hope I'm answering the question.
Yeah.
You're good. Yeah.
Yeah. We just hit it off as friends, and she was kind of like giving me advice. Hey, you know, because here I was 50 and 17 all at once.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
so interesting.
Yeah. And so here I am
warp.
possibly entering the dating world soon. And she was giving me like good friend advice because she cared about
Yeah.
me.
Sure.
You know, and who would have known that it was like, oh, yeah.
Or turn around and use this advice on you.
No, and the thing is the last thing that was on my mind going into that reunion, I was going as, you know, Anne Abraham's date because she had an extra ticket. And truly, the last thing that was on my mind is meeting somebody that would be somebody to date, let alone somebody that I was going to end up spending the rest of my life with.
Yeah.
And if anything, it was no go. I had been dating, and the dating pool was such that I was pretty much done.
Yeah.
And more power to them. Bless everybody's path. I will be the wise old sage to giving all of the advice and the cheerleader to everybody to finding love. but I wasn't finding what I knew that I needed in my life. So one of the things that I had made a hard decision that was inked, that I was not going to compromise. I wasn't going to find somebody that was just going to fit for the day or the month or whatever, that either that person is going to be truly the right fit, or I wasn't going to waste my time.
No projects.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not going to fix anybody. None of that stuff. Exactly. And so me going to this
Boy,
event,
did you get bamboozled.
oh my God. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Thank you, son.
So what was it that drew you in to my dad? So
Well, first and foremost, I guess he's got the street creds of being, hello, Bruce Denton.
Don't know what you're talking about.
He knows exactly what we're talking
He
about.
does. He does. He knows exactly. Don't even kid you. But we started out as friends, and truly I think my goal, not that there was any goals, is to helping him find the right lady for him. I didn't want him, because he was truly the sweetest guy ever, to be hurt by somebody, to go through some of the stuff that I went through.
Yeah,
I was hoping
yeah.
if I can help one person not have to go through some of the stuff that I've had to go through, and that he find that right lady and that right partner for him. Awesome. I've done a good thing, you know. Then when we started talking on the phone, and first it wasn't even on the phone, it was through the texting or instant messenger.
Yeah.
Webcam.
And so
Because to clarify, you were in Redlands,
California.
and I was here in Wiley,
Yeah.
Texas. So
Yes.
it was long distance that we were communicating, just as friends at first.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that was what was the irony, I think, part of my dating experience, that I had a long distance relationship or two,
Yeah.
and knew how that worked, and I was okay with it because I kind of liked my independence. And then I had also dated a widower, so I kind of knew how to navigate around that, showing a lot of grace, time, and truly the respect of who the first person was. Then all of a sudden, I think there was a pivotal thing where you were going to have a date. And there was something that was going on. Then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, either I go this direction and just be his friend and support him and just go about my business and leave it alone, or God, I'm going to throw my name in the hat, and if I don't do it now, I'm going to maybe lose my window of opportunity, because I really did have feelings for your dad. And I thought, well, he can either go yes or no or whatever. So
What's the phrase? She shoot her shot?
yeah, I shot my shot, whatever it is. And I think I sent you an email or something. And it was like wanting to get to know you better, but if it's okay. And
Yeah,
And
you
so-
said something to the effect of, it's okay that you date with, but I was kind of hoping that would be me.
Oh.
And you just outed yourself.
I
was
totally
like,
did.
I was like, yes.
I think 30 seconds later, you called me on the phone.
There was a decoy. There was no date.
What?
So is it safe to say that you had no hesitation in regards to Bruce's history with his loss? Like, it didn't phase you. It wasn't.
No, as far as him specifically.
Yeah.
My biggest concern was Matthew and Jessica. And one of the things that it's a harsh truth, that as the dad is moving on, and maybe you don't see as many pictures of the mom up in the house, or the dad is starting to date or whatever, that's one more slap in the face of the reality that mom's not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was going to be the first serious person that you were going to be dating since the passing of Brenda. And I was almost hoping, gosh, I wish you would cut your teeth on somebody else to where the kids were already used to that and then meet me. But, then again, if you were to do that, I'm sure whoever that person would have been would not have let you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was my toughest concern, my biggest, I don't want to say worry, but
Sure.
I wanted to make sure that I understood where you and your sister were coming from and respecting the pain of me simply, even though it wasn't just me, it was what I personified.
Yeah.
And that I knew was going to be tough, regardless of who it was going to be.
Right. And
Does that make sense?
oh, for sure. And to Jessica and I's point of view from that, the hardest thing for us was the long distance because we couldn't get to know you
Right.
until much later down the road. Like
Exactly. Until
so
I moved to Texas.
yeah, really. Or I think you came out for 1 week or something like that in December. But yeah, it wasn't very long. Yeah, and that was the toughest part. Now, granted, Jessica and I were both adults at the time. At the time. So,
And it is a different dynamics
Yeah.
when you guys are grown, you're in your 20s, you kind of have your own life versus
yeah.
Little ones.
school age kids.
Right. So, yeah, it's not like we were school age kids or anything like that. We were all adults, but it was a difficult time for Jessica and for me a little bit. I think more so for her than it was for me because I'm better at compartmentalizing things than my
Maybe
sister.
you come to terms with it a little bit more, or
Who knows?
I don't know. But and on that same
Yeah.
thing is my desire was to get to know you two.
Yeah.
And for you guys to get to know me and my family
Yeah.
Right.
to where you could hopefully see my value in your life and obviously in your dad's life. And hoping that my truth, me being just authentic and just really being transparent to you guys and not putting up airs and trying to be your friend right away.
Yeah.
Just to be authentic and real, but be there for you because that is who I am.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. It was an interesting time for sure.
Sure. For all of us.
Yeah.
Hey friends, do you want to join the Vows community? Click the link below to our site, vowsvibesvirtues.com. Check out our different membership levels, exclusive posts from us, merch, and other free downloads. We also have a free email list that you can join to get updates on new posts and merch as they're added to our site. As always, please send us an email if you have any requests or questions. So, how did you guys both communicate what your expectations, fears, and hopes for your now future together was?
Well, since we're grown, we had some good conversations. And I would write my stuff down of things that either my expectations or my hopes, what I would like to see for the future. And I was very upfront with that, especially having had my experience with a divorce or my dating and things like that. Through all of that gave me a better idea of clearly what I wanted and what I didn't want. And so there were times where he was kind of under the gun, and I'm like, if he doesn't, meet the criteria, I was at peace with saying adios, amigo. Good luck.
Yeah. And for me, I mean, it was 63 days from the time I left California, went back to Texas, 63 days before I would see her again. And we fell in love long distance. And it was a God thing because there was nothing physical.
Yeah.
We were 63 days where we could put off the physical and we just got to know who we were through talking things out. And we talked about everything.
Yeah.
There was no stone unturned. And so, we fell in love long distance, and it was just amazing because, when we did have our first date 63 days later, it was like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
How
it was,
special.
Oh, it really was.
And I think that was part of what made our initial relationship successful is you had to take the physical and the desires and
Yeah.
all of that stuff. That was not
The
really
equation.
a part of that. And so in that we were talking and learning about each other and finding out who we were as human beings and people and
Yeah.
potential partners and all of that stuff. And it really did cut through a lot of the gravy,
Yeah.
the thick stuff, to then before we decided to truly commit to each other, that we had gone through a lot of the communicative stuff.
Yeah.
And everything was on the table. For sure.
It really kind of makes me think if more relationships started that way and you took the physical aspect out of it, what would happen and how successful would they be?
Yeah. Or you would know right away that maybe it's not a good match.
Yeah.
And send each other on,
Yeah.
their path. For sure.
So your story is truly inspiring. You've built a beautiful life together. So let's talk about the wisdom that you've gained.
Wow. I think for me, there was a lot of firsts in a relationship that I did not experience with the kid's dad. I don't know if it was because we were just too young to know any better. We didn't communicate as well or whatever. But what have we learned? Gosh, patience, grace, truly understanding what unconditional, we are not quitting love is, and putting nobody else comes before him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I love my kids, I love my grandkids, but I will fight like a little tiger. And he has seen some of that where I didn't feel like our relationship was threatened, but I saw that somebody was trying to, I don't know, sniff up the wrong tree.
Yeah.
And I let them know, wife.
Oh,
Wife. But, and just having truly my best friend, my lover, my companion, and somebody that I could not think of anybody else better to do the things with. Now, that's not to say that sometimes he's kind of a pain.
I have one of
I
those
love you.
sometimes.
I love you.
Wow.
But
These Denton men.
Wow.
you know what?
All right.
So my wisdom.
Oh,
What
yeah,
have you
you've
gained,
got
Bruce?
What
wisdom.
advice do you have for somebody that would be in your situation where you've had the spouse pass?
Yeah.
What kind of wisdom have you gained from that?
Well, I would say that, and it seems cliche, but it's not, is that get your relationship right with God. Because that's when you are pointed upward, He'll give you what you need. He'll give you the desires of your heart. And I always thought, that was He'll give to you what you have in your heart, but He also puts that desire in your heart. He's giving you that desire to then, be manifested. So for a man to be loved twice by some amazing women, nobody's blessed the way I'm blessed in that way. That's the way I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like
And
seldom do you get one.
Right.
Right.
Let alone two.
And I will say, some people had even asked me, well, do you feel jealous about Brenda or any of that? And no. Here's the thing. If you're truly a follower of Christ, and I know Brenda was and is,
Yeah.
she may not be his wife anymore, but she is my sister in Christ. And I know there are times, I'm telling you, that Brenda inspires me and kind of helps me through some stuff.
Yeah.
And to where I feel it's important as an honor to Brenda, and it doesn't take a darn thing away from me. If anything, it kind of makes me look, not that I'm trying to do that, looks a little bit better because I'm
Yeah.
not so petty
Right.
about Brenda or their life together,
Yeah.
because she truly helped fashion him into the man that I love.
Yeah.
Right.
And so without Brenda, he would have been maybe a different person
Sure.
Yeah.
and a less compatible partner. And so Brenda gets included
Yeah.
Absolutely.
on
And I
any
said
of the
that. I
things.
said that very early, day one. I was like, I'm never gonna skirt from talking about Brenda.
No.
Skirt around that because
Absolutely not.
that's who helped mold me into the man that you found.
Yeah.
And she's the
Yeah.
kid's mom, and
Yeah.
she was a wonderful person. And why would I think anything different just because she was his wife first and all
Right.
that? She's an amazing human being, and I wish I could have met her.
You
But
and me both, Mama.
I see her love and her personality and her spirit
And her
through
legacy.
you, and yes,
Yeah.
and through Matt
And
and
Jessica.
Jessica, and also the grandkids.
Yeah.
To where I see little bits. To where, oh, that's got to be Brenda. That was so cool.
Yeah.
And you know, so my love for her even grows.
It's amazing.
It sounds like that after this conversation that it always boils back down to communication. Every single
I think that's our number
time.
one running theme of our podcast is communication
Communication.
is the key.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. And it starts, God's at the top, wife, communication here's got to be good, and then the communication here is going to be good.
Yeah.
And then the communication to everybody else.
Absolutely.
Right.
And then the kids will see that too.
Yeah.
To where one of the things I would like to think that Matt and Jessica and you and Pifas and Scott and Amanda
Yeah.
and Jessica see us happy, that's got to make you feel good.
Oh yeah.
And I know my son was concerned. You know, he wanted to make sure that, you know, whoever was going to be in his mom's life was going to be good for her.
Yeah. So we talked about me and Jessica, but how did your kids, obviously?
You know, Scott was already kind of going off onto college and starting his own life and everything, but he was still very much in tune to my feelings and my hopes and desires, because he had seen some of the downfalls of some of the relationships and things like that, and he was like, I don't want to see my mom hurt anymore. And if this person isn't good enough for her, then he's definitely not going to be good enough for me and my sister.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure, you know, and he put his foot down on some of that stuff.
Yeah, it's so funny because he said, well, if you hurt my mom, I'm going to kick your butt. He didn't use the word butt. And I told him, I said, if I hurt your mom, I will deserve whatever you give me.
Yeah.
And because it was not
Yeah.
in the cards, I was not going to hurt her.
But
Yeah.
Scott saw who
Yeah,
you
yeah.
were very early and saw how supportive you were of him and some of the things that he was needing to go through with college and all of that stuff, that you ended up being somebody he could really rely upon as an extension of me. Now, with my daughter Amanda, you guys know, but our listening audience doesn't know yet, I have a daughter with special needs and multiple disabilities, but don't think that she doesn't understand.
Because
Right.
she does.
She knows right away whether a person is authentic and good and kind and genuine and that accepts her for who she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Self-aware.
yeah, she's very
very
self-aware. I wasn't as worried with Amanda, but she instantly called you Papa.
Oh, just
All on her
gravitated.
own.
Yeah.
Gravitated.
That's not what she calls her dad. Papa is my word, is her word for me. Yeah, I'm the
And
only
her
one
name,
that has
yeah.
that.
And her dad is Daddy or Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so also too, that was also kind of like part of my checklist is
course.
how is this man going to
Yeah.
like my kids.
Yeah.
And
And
also
I
how
have-
our kids gonna like my kids.
Right.
I had no prior experience with somebody with special needs.
Yeah.
You know, it was interesting.
Yeah.
You know, and I fell in love with her.
Yeah.
Don't mean to stay with the kids. No, I'm kidding. But I knew that Amanda, if she could see who he was and know him instinctively, I think because she learns and understands and perceives things on a different level, maybe higher than us, but also lower because of her cognitive delays. But her baloney meter is very fine.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So I know that they've got a very special relationship to where she's even pushed me aside to go to Papa.
No, my mom.
Exactly. Oh, hi, Mom. Whatever.
So, any final thoughts about finding love again after the first time?
Well, I think we've covered it. I mean, again, doubly blessed.
Yeah.
Trusting God.
Yes. And
To see it
paying
through.
attention,
Yeah.
listening to when he tells you some of the hard stuff, that you've got to be an active participant in the things that he does
Yeah.
for us and to us and at us and whatever. It's an action word,
Yeah.
just like love is.
And that maybe your timing, maybe you want it, you're ready, but maybe the timing's not right, and he's going to make it right for you when it's
Right.
time. Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining us today.
For asking.
Yeah. And being honest and open, vulnerable. I know that's difficult to talk about some of that stuff, and just definitely appreciate it. And yeah, I just want to say, anybody out there going through this, we're here to listen to you guys and to talk with you. And I just want to say a prayer for everybody that's listening out there, that if you're going through a difficult time with, finding love again, or you just experience loss, that you just reach out and talk to God and get your relationship with God going, and rely on Him, and know that He is there, and know that your friends, your family, your church is there too, and He will take care of you. And in Jesus' name I pray, amen.
And well, thank you again for asking us to talk. And we could both go on and on and on.
Yes, we might need to do a part 2.
Yes. I'd be
Absolutely.
If you loved this episode, share it with a friend. Want to be the first to know what's next for us? Click the link below to connect on our website, vowsvibesvirtues.com.
And if you had any prayer requests, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to hear from you.